Rain gang. We made it. Episode 20. We made it. We're here. 20. But back again. Mondays, Thursdays. You know the ritual. You know it.
Yeah. You know, we're back, right back at it. A lot happened. This is the Purple Rain Podcast, episode 20. We finally reached our 20s. Shout out to everybody who's been along with us for the ride thus far. Promise, a lot more to come in the future. But this is a little bit of a milestone. Episode 20 is pretty cool. We got a couple people in the chat already. Foxes23 says, hi. Hello, Yo. Foxes. How are you? Let's see. Football wins 32. Yo, what's up, man? Sam Reese says, I almost got that shirt. Sutton Def. Yeah, man. You got to get this shirt.
Gotta get it.
Not bad for a running back, man. It's our guy. Chris Swain. Yes, sir. What's up, man?
Always coming through.
Always. John James always coming through. What's up, man? Devon Johnson. Rain Gang. Yes, sir.
Always coming through.
Man. Always, man. K-Dog says, congrats on 20. Thank you, K-Dog. Appreciate that. Darius Simmons, Rain Gang. Peyton Elizabeth, thank you for coming through. Rain Gang. Wow. Yeah, full effect tonight, as usual, guys. We appreciate you guys for coming through. Like we said, this is the Purple Rain Podcast, episode 20. I am Sutton Def. You can follow me on Twitter or Instagram at Sutton Def. Go ahead and follow me. Shoot me a DM. We can chop it up, go back and forth. I love talking to you guys. It's always a pleasure. And that is my guy, Alex Silverman. Tell them where they can find you, bro.
You can find me on Twitter at AlexSilverman_ or on Instagram, simply as10.prod, and on YouTube, simply as10. Since you guys are here, after the podcast ends tonight, dropping a Lamar Jackson full season highlights, be sure to tune in, 7:45. Be there. It's going to be a good one. And also, I know we hit 20 podcasts, video or streams, but also we hit 600 subs, 600 subscribers. Woo. So thank you to everybody out there. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you guys so much. 600 subscribers. And we just started a couple months ago. So that is just, it's so awesome to see how much support we've gotten, thus far. And we're going to keep making videos for you guys. Even though the off season has begun for the Ravens already, we're still going to be coming at you guys with videos weekly. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for 600 subscribers. If you're new here and you enjoy the content today, make sure you like the video and you maybe subscribe. Maybe subscribe yourself, and join the Rain Gang. You can also join the Rain Gang by following us on Instagram. You can see it right above my head here at the Purple Rain Podcast. Follow us on Instagram. We're going to be giving you guys updates on Raven stuff and all things Purple Rain Podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, something happened today with the Ravens. General Manager Eric DeCosta had his end of the season press conference. You watched it. I watched it. I think everybody watched it. Takeaways. What you got?
Man, biggest takeaways from the Eric DeCosta press conference. Just to preface this a little bit. I woke up this morning. I was off work today. I woke up this morning and I got a notification from the Ravens YouTube channel saying that they were going live and that Eric DeCosta was doing a live press conference. I had no idea that this was going to happen. So I was very happy to hear that. I immediately tuned in because I wanted to hear all the things that he was going to say about, what we need to do in the offseason to improve. And I was hoping he would say, he would agree with, some of the Rain Gang, some of the Ravens flock and what, the things we've been saying. But of course, it's not going to be as harsh and as hardcore as we may keep it on here. But he said some pretty interesting things. And I think one of my biggest takeaways from it was actually when he was talking about the offense. A specific reporter asked him a question basically pertaining to the offense. And does he see any change or anything like that going to be coming soon for the offense in order to, get our schemes better? And he was basically just he kind of shrugged off the question. As in him kind of being like, oh, that's not me. That's Greg Roman. That's John Harbaugh. That's their job, that sort of thing. And I don't really get into I'm not really concerned about. That's not my job, basically, is what he was saying. And I was just thinking the whole time, I was like, wait a minute. You're the general manager of the team. Your job is to make sure that other people are doing their job.
Exactly.
And if they're not, then that's a problem, right? So that's where I kind of had an issue with it. Alex, if you don't mind, can I play back that piece of the clip?
100%. Why not? We're here for
so, Yeah, man. I just kind of wanted to show you guys like exactly what I'm talking about, so I don't get his words out of context, and we can kind of share this moment together here. So here is what I was talking about. This is Eric DeCosta, Ravens GM. This is like a little snippet I want to show you of him answering this question here. I'm gonna rewind it to about right here. I'll let it go.
Does that rely on?
Oh,
I haven't heard it yet.
actually gonna be like right there. All right, cool.
Sean Stepner.
Eric, good to see you. My question is along those same lines. When you say that you're you throw a lot less by design, do you anticipate that design changing at all regarding passing more? And if so, does that rely on Lamar improving certain points of his game over the offseason regarding passing?
Well, I would think that, Lamar being who Lamar is, Lamar wants to improve. I mean, I want to improve too. I mean, we all want to improve. You wouldn't be in this business unless you just constantly want to get better, just like you guys. So that goes without, I think saying that we all want to get better, and that's on the quarterback, that's on the receivers. As far as the scheme and all those types of things, that's the coaching staff and that's the players. That's Greg Roman. I don't really get too caught up in all that right now. I'm more interested in what time it is, more so than how to actually build a watch. So, I would defer to Greg and all those guys on how do we do that, what we want to do, and they'll have ideas personnel wise and the type of players that we're looking for. And I get a lot of value out of that, just sitting down with Greg and the coaches and talking about the specific types of players that we want. What type of tight end are we looking for? What type of receivers are we looking for? What kind of traits do we want our offensive lineman to possess or our running back to have? So those are the things that really help me build the team. And then what I try to do is supply the players, the coaches with those kind of players, and then the players and the coaches go to the lab and present the product.
So
Got a lot from that. Lots to take in.
Yeah. A lot to take in from that little clip there. And, I understand what he's saying. Like, okay, it's his job to roster players, not necessarily like coaches and things like that. But at a certain point, you kind of have to look at what we have going on, like schematically on offense, and how lopsided we are. You know what I mean? Like, you have to kind of look yourself in the mirror as a team, as an organization, and say, okay, these are our issues. How are we going to go about fixing these issues? And his answer to that question made it sound very much like, okay, it's not on me. It's not on him, but it's on Greg Roman. It's on John Harbaugh. It's on, the offense. So it's just like he didn't really suggest any change was coming, Didn't really suggest any change was coming. And that was kind of like my kind of biggest issue with it, because it was giving complacency, to me. Like,
it was.
Basically, yeah. So what did you think about it, though?
I gotta agree with you. I mean, anytime a hard question was really asked, you kind of shrugged it off. I get that. That's what the press, they just want to get the clicks.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know when he said it, but he was saying, I've never been told that somebody doesn't want to come here because we don't pass the ball enough.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But did you guys watch the games yesterday? How many of those teams ran the ball most of the game and had success with it? It was a lot of passing going on in both games.
Yeah.
So, and we talked about this last time. The NFL has changed. Running the ball, how we run it, is not going to win a Super Bowl. We've said that. And there's guys out there. This is a deep wide receiver free agent market. There's guys out there that can help us. I'm not saying that we need to just throw the ball 100 times, 50 times a game. What we're saying is we need to open up the playbook and need to get these guys that can help us get to our next level, get to our next step. And with this, I didn't really sound like it.
It didn't really sound like it at all. And it's just like, at this point, how much longer are we going to wait? How many more years are we going to wait for this offense to finally be able to be firing on all cylinders, truly? Because we got a hint of it. We got a glimpse of it last year with Lamar winning MVP, throwing like 36 touchdown passes to only 7 interceptions, and, leading the league in touchdown passes and being very efficient passing the football. And going to this year, there was a regression in the passing game and just the offense in general. I know a lot of that has to do with, us losing Marshall Yanda, us losing our 3 tight end sets, and then just teams having a whole offseason to adapt to us and, just kind of scheme for us defensively and things like that. But the issue is though, like we seem to be good enough running the ball where we can win football games. But there's a difference between winning football games, like regular season games, like handedly, and then winning those playoff games. Because in those playoff games, they're so honed in. They're so like everything is huge. And I was saying this, I tweeted it yesterday. Turnovers in playoff games are huge because literally every play matters and every point is precious. Super precious, you know. And if your offense is one dimensional in the playoffs and teams know how to game plan for that, and you literally cannot do anything else, then that's a problem. So it's like my question to them is like, how much longer are we going to go having an offensive coordinator who can't go left, as they like to say in basketball? You have a right-handed dribbler. He can only take it right, but he can't go left. That's his weakness. Exactly. You know, how long are we going to wait for that to develop?
And I'm glad you bring that up because Mark Andrews' brother last night tweeted during the game. And real quick, I want to take it back because Mark Andrews was triple cover, triple team cover, double team cover, the whole Bills game. So I'm not mad at him per se, but he put out, not sure why the Bills felt the need to double and triple cover Mark Andrews last week, but completely failed to account for Travis Kelce this week. And that got me thinking. I'm like, okay, Travis Kelce is undoubtedly the best tight end in the league. Okay, why is only one person on him? Oh, that's right, because the Chiefs have all these other weapons. Okay, maybe you get some more weapons. That leaves guys like Mark Andrews on single coverage. Maybe he gets more into these playoff games. I'm just looking at it. I'm like, the front office has done a terrible job surrounding our MVP quarterback. I think everybody knows it, and if you don't know it, it's true. They put so much on Lamar to make these things happen, but at what point, like that was the issue with Flacco. We never really built around him, and then when you gave him a good set of guys around him, what did he bring us? A Super Bowl.
Right.
So, and Mark Andrews isn't our tight end one. He's our wide receiver one, honestly. He is. Yeah. That's how I feel. I mean, I know he's a tight end, but he's our guy. And in what world do you hear a tight end getting double and triple covered? It's crazy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, man. And I mean, just the whole like getting Lamar Jackson help, that sort of thing. Like that's the biggest thing for me, because you can look at like the Bills and how they were able to develop with Josh Allen at quarterback once they got a Stephon Diggs. They bought him in, and you saw it immediately worked wonders. People were like, Josh Allen was making a mockery of himself in, you know, some of his earlier games. And, you know, I remember a couple of sports analysts had completely written Josh Allen off like, oh, he's not it. He's not the one for them, when really he just wasn't all the way comfortable in that system yet, and he really didn't have the weapons that he needed. And I think Lamar Jackson's going through the same thing. We're so good running the football, nobody is worried about, you know, if we have to throw. We're like, oh, we've got a Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews is pretty good. He's cool. We drafted a Hollywood Brown a couple of years ago, but obviously he's not a number one receiver. And I don't even think Hollywood Brown wants to be that number one. I think he knows he fits better as a complimentary, you know, to a number two, complimentary to a number one type role. So, you know, when are we going to get him the help that he needs? You know, because I feel like our window's not going to be open forever with Lamar Jackson. It's
like, this was the year. You know, he's still in his rookie contract. And now we have everything coming out. Oh, he's going to get this contract extension. Wonderful. Yeah. We're back in the 2014, 2017 years where, we can sign one guy every offseason because we have no cap whatsoever. Yeah. You know, I was told we were going to have all this cap space. Where is it? We have $17 million. Like, where is it? And since we're talking about cap, the fact we cut Morgan Cox for cap casualty is an absolute disgrace. I am ashamed right now. The fact they cut an all-pro long snapper for like 100,000. Really? And then to come back and fight us, I don't want to be that fan, but there's going to be a bad snap next year that's going to cost us a field goal. I mean, the long snapper, really?
Yeah, the long snapper, it's like that's one of those positions where you don't want to mess up. You know what I mean? You do not want to mess up at long snapper. But apparently the backup, I can't remember his full name, but I think it's like Nick Moore. Something. Nick Moore, yeah. Apparently, like, he's actually pretty good, you know, and he's been kind of waiting in the wings for a little bit. So, I mean, we'll see what he has to offer. Obviously, I don't feel like they would, you know, just completely move off of a Morgan Cox. coming off a season where we were plagued by snapping issues and stuff like that. I don't think that they would get rid of him in full confidence unless they knew that they have somebody in a backup that can actually, do really well. So I'm not too worried about that, but it is kind of sad that the Wolf Pack is officially coming to an end. So
100%. Yeah. It's like, and I'm glad we brought the center issues because they brought this up too in the press conference. They were like, "Oh, you've seen 2 times where the centers have just kind of blown it." And then DeCosta was like, "Oh, the one game was the Patriots where there was a monsoon, then the whole windy game against the Bills." Okay, so the whole windy game against the Bills, if we're in shotgun and it's not working, let's go under center.
Yeah,
that's another thing that we really didn't talk about. Like, I get that we play in the pistol and the shotgun, but if that's doing more harm than good, what's the point of that? Going under center, because he's not going to mess that up unless he just had a terrible game.
And that's what I'm saying, bro. Like with the whole offensive coaching thing, and the title of this video is Ravens GM is not concerned about the Ravens offensive coaching. When you take what you just said into consideration, the fact that we literally only line up in the pistol or the gun. We never line up in I formation under center for any reason at all, unless it's a QB sneak or something, something like that.
A direct snap, some weird,
or direct something like that. So when teams know that and they can predict that, and you're just that predictable, like it just makes it that much easier for them to execute their game plan, because this is what they're practicing against all week. If you never throw them off, if you don't have anything in the playbook to throw off an opposing team's game plan, it's just kind of our will against theirs, and we're not going to be able to outwill everybody. It's just just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like after that, it just comes down to, if the schemes aren't working, how they work, it comes down to one-on-one matchups, and that's it. And if we're not winning every one-on-one matchup, then we're gonna lose. So it's just that's why I say, like, I think that we need to get some sort of like coaching change, or just, even if we don't get rid of Greg Roman completely, like can he have like an epiphany or something that lets him know, okay, maybe we need to run more than just the 6, 7, or 8 plays that we run. You know what I mean? Like it's just, I don't know.
He'll flip them every once in a while too to throw you off guard, just to throw. Right. But that we're speaking of the line too. I agree that our run game line, or our run line, like whatever. Yeah, that's amazing. Amazing. Now compared to the pass game, offensive line is terrible, and there has to be upgrades there, or we just got to do the right things. And speaking of the line, they brought up Jesus Orlando Jr. as a paid, and so does Andrews, and the possibility of both of them resigning is 0 after this press conference, because he said it. Newsom with him, can't keep everybody, so one of those guys is gone. I don't know who it's going to be, but one of them is gone. We learned that too today. So that sucks. Gonna lose one of the fan favorites. Yeah,
and that is very, very unfortunate. Devon Johnson says, better scheming will put all the speed we have on full display. I think that's a great point, man. I mean, you see it with teams like the Chiefs, you know what I mean? They scheme open Tyreek Hill like there's no tomorrow. Like Eric Bieniemy, he seems to have no issues, you know what I mean, scheming up Tyreek Hill to get open on plays. So, and
you know what the NFL is going to do? He's going to be their coordinator for another year. That's what the NFL is doing. Wow. Like, how is he going? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man, either. But I mean, like I said, Devon Johnson, that's a very good point. We do need better scheming in order to get our guys open, because we have the talent. I really do think we have the talent, which is why I don't want us to go out and break the bank on a big name wide receiver or anything like that, because I feel like we have talent. Now, would it help to get like an Allen Robinson in? Sure, it would, but I don't want us to be in cap hell because of Allen Robinson.
Yeah.
So
and we still need. We both agreed signing a lineman is so much better than a receiver, because that is what. And we saw with the Bills, Josh Allen had little time yesterday. He had that play where he was pushed back. He couldn't go down because his line just gave up on him. His line showed more fight defending him than protecting him in the pocket. So just having a great line is big too. And the way the Chiefs, they get the ball off within 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds. Crazy. Yeah. So even if you have a good pass rush, you're not going to get to them. So I was watching the sports shows today. It's like the Chiefs, we got to go through them no matter what. They're the new Patriots. They're the new dynasty. Mahomes is the best quarterback. Kelsey is the best wide receiver. Tyreek Hill is the best. No, Kelsey's the best tight end.
And
Hill's the
they will
best
be there
receiver.
every year.
Yes, they will be, and it's that simple. Just gotta know how to beat them, and we play them again next year.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we can do something. But playoffs is when it matters. They were down 2 possessions. They came back and turned it around.
Right.
They're never out of it. Never.
And the fact that, like, that's a good point, that for a fact you're going to have to go through the Kansas City Chiefs in order to get to the Super Bowl if you're in the AFC. And you're not going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs if you're just trying to run the ball all day. You're just not.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, it's just as simple as that. I was watching the score between them and the Bills yesterday. And what was the final score to that game? It was like 31 to...
38-24, I think.
They got 38?
Pretty sure.
I thought it was 31. Maybe I'm tripping. I think it was 38, as a matter of fact. But
yeah, 38-24.
Yeah, like they just ran it up on them, and we're not gonna score 40 points by running the ball, like, and just not being respectable at all. I understand running the ball because that's what we do. We're a running football team, and using that to control the clock. But at the same time, like if we're not even respectable passing the ball, we're not gonna beat the Chiefs, and that's just something that, like I said, everybody in the front office of the Ravens, which means Eric DeCosta, even the coaching staff, John Harbaugh, Roman, Wink, all those guys, have to look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, look, we're a good football team. We are a good football team. But every season, if we want to achieve our ultimate goal, we're going to have to go through the Kansas City Chiefs and the
Arrowhead
Buffalo
Stadium.
Bills, Arrowhead Stadium, all these offenses with these high-powered offenses that in the playoffs, they can stifle a run game if they just keep scoring on you.
Look at the Bills, what they did against us. They ran the ball how many times in the first half? Like one, 2, or 3? Not barely anything.
Yeah, man. So, and I think another thing as well that EDC brought up in the press conference that was interesting, he said pass rush has to be better. But we saw this year that there was a league low in sacks this year. And, quarterbacks are getting the ball out very, very quickly. So that puts a lot more pressure on our secondary. So hopefully the hope is going into next year, we can have a healthy Tavon Young, Jimmy Smith, as depth pieces, and then of course we have our Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters, because our secondary, man, against those high flying offenses, we need them the most.
Yeah, we do.
We need the Monstars against the Titans, and against everybody else in the AFC, we need that.
Especially the Browns
really
now.
Special, exactly.
The Browns. I mean, they're a hell of a team.
Yeah.
Speaking of just the defense too. I feel there's a lot of Matt Judon hatred going around. A false report came out that he was asking for $20 million. I just want to bring this out there. There's a lot of people wanting to re-sign Tyus Bowser and saying, "Oh, let Judon walk," but it's like, I'd rather keep Judon at this point because he's done it. He's proved his worth for a couple seasons now. Bowser had one good season. I feel like it's that recency bias too.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh, well, Bowser only had 2 sacks, but he made his presence known. But Judon's kind of – I think Judon is the most disrespected and hated Ravens player out there from Ravens fans. Because I just see a lot of Judon hate. And somebody brought that to my attention. I was like, wow, that's a really good point. But we're not keeping Ngakoue, Judon, or Bowser. So we'll get some comp picks, but it's going to be weird to see who they pick out of those 3 to sign, because we're definitely going to draft an edge rusher for sure.
Oh, yeah. We'll definitely draft an edge rusher. Somebody actually brought up something about the draft. Our guy, Sizz. What's up, Sizz? He says, I got a question. He says, should we pay or draft the new interior O-lineman? So interior O-line is one of those key positions of need right now. So do you think that we bring a guy in and pay him a chunk of money, or do we draft somebody and develop him?
I say draft.
Same.
I say draft. I forget who it. I think the Patriots center is a free agent, and I wouldn't mind. I think it's David Andrews. I wouldn't mind picking him up. I would be more happy drafting interior linemen and then also signing a center who's proven he can make those snaps. Because that's kind of what killed us, to be 100%. And then obviously our outside tackles we have. We got Stanley and Zeus, and we got I say this year is a make or break year for this Ravens team because we have a lot of free agents. That draft class where we got Lamar and company, this is their final year of rookie contracts besides Lamar Jackson. So it's make or break for them.
Speaking of the draft, EDC, he brought up the draft a lot in his press conference. And, when he's talking about ways for us to get better and stuff like that, he says we have to improve. We will improve this off season, through free agency and OTAs, being able to do that again this year, and then the draft. Now, with the draft coming up, there's going to be a lot of pieces that we need to take in this draft, just like last year, just like every year. But looking back on this past season, Alex, what would you say is our draft grade from last year, from our class from last year, just considering how all of those players did? So the Patrick Queen, Malik Harrison, Justin Madubuike, Broderick Washington, Justin Ellis, Proche, Duvernay, all those guys. As a whole, what would you grade last year's draft? Rain Gang, I want to know your thoughts on this as well.
Oh, wow. Well, first off, I'd say probably our best player in that draft. I think Madubuike was probably our best. I mean, Queen, obviously, we needed a lineman. Yeah, he was a steal. Yeah. But he showed me the most potential, I say, on anybody so far in that draft class. Maybe a B-. I feel there's a lot of upside, though. A lot of upside. And the fact that we made it to where we were and what the rookies did, I know without the preseason and with the weird offseason, too. And it wasn't bad. Exactly, J.K. Dobbins. I'm still a little mad at the whole Geno Stone thing. I really think we could have kept him. I think he could have been a great third safety. I'll say right now B-, but it can always go up or down.
Yeah.
Duvernay and Proche too. Like you give Proche a D or an F because he never played. That's nothing on him.
Yeah.
You give a Duvernay probably a C- or a D+ because we never used him. Or a C+, average.
I mean, do you think, honestly, I would probably give them probably a B-, right around where you were saying. I agree with that pretty much. But do you think that those younger guys, they really just didn't get their role in the offense at all because there was no training camp, because there was no preseason? And do you think that next year, because there most likely will be a preseason, OTAs and all that good stuff, we'll see them have a lot more prevalent role in our offense? So that goes for guys like, of course, J.K. Dobbins, Duvernay, and Proche. Do you really think that they'll have a more prevalent role in next year's offense?
Dobbins, yes. Duvernay, a little bit more. Proche, he'll be like the Duvernay of this year. We'll see these flashes. Them won't use. That's my prediction. I think we'll see more Duvernay. I really do. Obviously, we'll see a heavy dose of Dobbins. I just feel Proche he'll be like the Tyler Johnson on the Bucks. He'll make some clutch catches, and you wonder like, oh, where's he been? Obviously, for the Bucks, it's different because they have 3 number 1 caliber receivers. But for us, we'll be questioning his play time for sure.
Yeah. I really just want to see. I want to see us use these guys, man. Because
what's the point of drafting them?
Exactly. Like, what's the point? Like, we could have easily spent those draft picks on more depth at O-line or whatever else. If we're not going to use these guys, why draft them? So you're right about that. But Proche, Duvernay, I think somebody said Duvernay will be a starter. Joseph Aless says Duvernay will be a starter. I could see that happening depending on what we do with Willie Snead in the offseason. Because if he's gone, one of those guys is taking that spot.
Yeah, the slot role.
Yeah.
And the guy who runs the 5-yard underneath routes, or the 5-yard curl routes, and just stands there in wide open coverage. You gotta come down with it and catch it, and hopefully get some yak.
Maybe Proche. I think Proche would fit pretty nicely in that role.
He would, because of his hands.
Yeah.
He reminds me of a Snead, not the fastest, but reliable.
And he's younger, and he's hungry. You can tell he's hungry.
Yeah.
So would definitely love to see some Proche action in the slot next season. Hopefully there is a preseason. Hopefully there are OTAs, all those things, so we can see these guys worked into our offense, because I truly believe, guys, if our offense is going to be, a threat like passing the football, it can't just be Mark Andrews. It can't just be Hollywood Brown. Lamar Jackson is not, and let's not kid ourselves here. He's not the best thrower of the football. So when you double and triple team our best receivers, and Lamar is not the most accurate, he's pretty accurate, but he's not the most accurate. I wouldn't say he's like top 3, top 5 in the league at all. So it just makes it harder. So you have to have those guys underneath, on the lower end of the depth chart that are coming up and making big plays. And we saw, a guy like James Proche, he did it in the Titans game. So we know that these guys can step up. Devin Duvernay, he has some pretty boom plays in the season as well. So we know these guys can step up. They just need their opportunities.
Yeah, I see my guy Christopher Swain said, talking about Proche, he makes big plays in college. And that a video was circulating on Twitter of the type of catches he made in college were absolutely insane. One-handed, guys all over him, PI, and he still catches it. And you see why we don't have any success with receivers. Because we get talent, we don't use it. And I actually want to pose a question to the Rain Gang real quick. Because let me know if I'm right or wrong. I feel we can use a Devin Duvernay like the Niners use Deebo Samuel. I mean, because they use him a lot on those options, those end arounds. I'm like, I see that in Duvernay. He has the speed. Yeah. He can catch the ball and he can take it out the backfield and get us some yards. Let me know if I'm wrong there. I just felt he was kind of like a comparison I was trying to give to somebody because they didn't really know what he could do. I'm telling you, he could be like Deebo Samuel, but nobody knows that except Ravens fans because we watched him the whole year.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they definitely already kind of use him sort of like that. Jet sweeps and screens, things like that. But I would like to see it happen more for sure. And another thing is, too, the only issue that I have with a lot of those plays is that, especially like the jet sweeps and stuff like that, most of these teams know we're running the ball anyway. You know what I mean? So those type of plays don't really work to their full potential unless you're really firing on all cylinders on offense and you're keeping that defense honest. Because what a lot of teams do, they literally they crash down on the line of scrimmage. They try to contain both edges to make sure Lamar doesn't get to one side or the other, and they really just sell out to try to stop the run. And if they can do that, they know that they can get us out of our game plan. So a lot of the times, and I saw it, a lot of the times this season, Devin Duvernay's plays, like his design plays, weren't working because of that very reason. They're selling out to stop the run. So if you're starting the play in the backfield, he's still not going to be at an advantage because they're all cheating up in the box. So
it's like, why not? Okay. And even him at Texas, he was making plays. I saw that he was making one-handed plays, just contested catches plays. And I'm like, we have two of these guys that I think we traded up for Proche, I believe. I remember watching the draft. Proche was like the number one player available for like a round or two. I'm like, how is nobody taking this guy? And then we take him.
Yeah.
We just don't use him.
Right. So. It's like, it makes no sense. Makes no sense, man. But, let's see what we have going on in the chat here. Cam Neal says people act like DeAndre Hopkins is the fastest wide receiver. Proche is not either, and he has those same kind of reliable hands. Give both Duvernay and Proche a chance. Facts.
Exactly. I think everybody wants to find the next Tyreek Hill. They think of speed, but hands are equally as important because you can be as fast as you want to be, but if you don't have hands to catch the ball, what's the point of being a receiver?
Yeah.
And his route running too is amazing. From what we've seen.
What we really need most of is we need yak yardage. We need guys who can get that yak. Because we know where Lamar Jackson is most comfortable and where he's most efficient passing the ball. It's in the middle of the field, inside the numbers, and those short to intermediate passes. That's where he really shines at. So if we can have guys who can catch the ball, 7 to 10 yards, 15 yards out, and then they can turn up field. Like Tyreek Hill, if you saw Tyreek Hill in the AFC Championship game, he was going off after the catch.
End to end. The one play I think was in the fourth quarter. Like he had to run, I'd say, altogether 150 yards on one play. I mean, because he went back and forth. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Exactly. Like we need guys who, when they catch the ball, they want it. You know what I mean? Like they want to do everything that they can to get to the end zone because that's what's gonna win you games at the end of the day. It's that extra effort. And like we say, we're not a passing team. So on our passing plays, we literally every single passing play, we have to maximize the potential of that play. You know what I mean? Because it's not like we're taking multiple deep shots down the field. It's not like we're stretching defenses, corner, well, sideline to sideline, and, for the passing game at least. So, we need somebody to come in who can bring us that, that yak yardage. And we saw a little bit of it out of Hollywood Brown, but we know that that's always going to be limited because he is very undersized. And Tyreek Hill, he's the type of receiver. He's kind of like the perfect build for it because he's not as undersized as Marquise Brown is. I'm not sure how tall they are, like next to each other.
I think he's a few inches over Hollywood Brown.
Tyreek Hill, yeah. Plus,
and he's also been in the league
bigger.
Yeah, and he's been in the league longer. Has that league ready body. I mean, I think we'll see it out of Hollywood this year, next year. So I'll be looking forward to see. I mean, I'm excited for Hollywood Brown next year.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna say he's gonna have 1,000-yard receiver, but I'm expecting over 800 yards and some touchdowns too. But he kind of just cements himself as Lamar's go-to guy. He can throw it to him. Obviously the drops, but cut down on them. I think we'll be pretty happy with him.
Yeah. Let's see. Christopher Swain, he says we don't have to have a top 5 passing offense. I think if we can get into the top 15, I think we'll be good as long as we can still run the ball. Yeah, that's facts. It's like anything but dead last.
Yeah, don't be 32, please.
It's just it's crazy, man, because like having the 32nd ranked passing offense, bro, and you being a fan of that team, it's very depressing. It's very depressing knowing that your team is not sufficient enough passing the football when it's a passing league, and everybody knows that in 2021. But yes, that's a fabulous point, Christopher Swain. If we could at least get into the top 15, at least that makes us respectable. That puts us in the top half in the league in passing the football. And then if we're also still number 1, maybe even number 2, number 3 at running the football, we would be good. That's Super Bowl material right there.
Exactly.
That is Super Bowl material. So,
100%. Absolutely
correct there.
So why is it that... Okay, real quick. Why is it that we know this? We're just fans.
Right.
We're fans. We're fans. We. I think it's not rocket science. It's kind of like have a really good run game, have an average passing game,
exactly.
Put it together, above average offense.
Right.
Who would have thought?
But no. Instead, it's like let's have a A1 running game and a terrible passing attack. And of course, when you put those two things together, that just equals an average offense. And an average offense is not going to win you a Super Bowl. So, hey, man, I don't know. But maybe we're tripping. Are we tripping? Rain Gang, are we spitting facts right now? Let us know. I don't know. Maybe we're tripping. I don't know. We might be tripping, Alex.
We are.
Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Lerone Frisson. He says, I say we're going to draft Kadarius Toney in the first round to pair him up with Marquise Brown in the slot, Duvernay, Proche, and Boykin for our main 5 wide receivers. Kadarius Toney. I'm not familiar with the name yet. I am not. But since it is officially the offseason, that is my fault. I'm going to get on these college players and these players going into the draft.
I'm excited for the draft. I'm really excited. It's a fun time. That Thursday, Friday, Saturday is always fun.
Yeah.
I can't see us taking a receiver unless somebody drops like a big time name, just plunks down. Yeah. I think it's going to be edge or lineman for our first round pick.
Our first, I could honestly see that in there. Peyton Elizabeth, she says, there's no way we're ranked 32nd in passing attack, and the coaches are just cool with that. They have to be playing the cards close to their chest. They just have to be. Yeah. I mean,
can you bring up that conspiracy theory that you texted me earlier today? Since we're on coaches now.
Yeah, I can definitely bring that up. Yeah. So actually, shout out to one of our viewers. I think it was our guy Jonathan Washington, who actually actually commented on our last video with kind of like a little bit of a conspiracy theory. I'm sorry, it was Jonathan Carrington. I know we have a Jonathan Washington who watches the show as well. But Jonathan Carrington, he actually commented on our last video, and he said this. He said, I'm kind of wondering if Wink Martindale is being prepped to be the next head coach of the Ravens. I really think John Harbaugh has lost the locker room. They just hired Rob Ryan, and you don't hire Rob Ryan just to stay a linebackers coach. He'll be Wink's defensive coordinator. So that was interesting. I read that.
And a big thank you to Peyton for bringing up our coaches topic, because we had a plethora of coaching changes and still more to come.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I don't know. This whole thing is interesting, though. Like, it's a huge, very huge conspiracy theory. It's kind of far-fetched. I don't think, and you brought it to my attention earlier, that Harbaugh's probably not going to be gone only because him and Steve Bisciotti, the owner of the Ravens, they are very close, and he doesn't, he probably wouldn't just kind of turn on him like that. But it is still very interesting because you got to think Harbaugh was on the hot seat just a couple years ago. So it's not like he could not be on the hot seat again.
Exactly.
So I don't know, man. But what do you think about maybe what if Wink? What if that was true?
I'd love it. I would love it. I feel.
See, I know you don't like Harbaugh though.
See, it's not I don't like Harbaugh. Actually, real quick. I was on Twitter. I saw a lot of girls they were saying, "Oh, Harbaugh is very good looking." This that. I'm sorry. Have we not seen Sean McVay? Honestly, I'm like, why Harbaugh? But that's beside the point. So, I'm not the biggest Harbaugh fan. I think he's a great leader, but it's and I brought this up to you when I'm watching the Ravens Wired. The defense is rallies behind Wink. I get he's a defensive coordinator, but I never really see Harbaugh with the defensive guys. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like Wink, the guys they have his back more than they have anybody else's back on the team. They'll be out there. They'll be saying, I don't know how this guy, Wink doesn't have a head coaching. I think Judon brought it up, and he's like, he's not mad, but it definitely makes you think. It definitely does. And I know the media, on Good Morning Football, is hyping Wink up. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if he was our head coach. I really wouldn't, but I don't think it's going to happen. And the whole Rob Ryan hire really doesn't make sense to me because he's a little bit of he's a Ryan brother, I would have much rather had Rex, but he won't take anything but a defensive coordinator position. So it's like the Ravens are a weird reality TV show. We're just coming up with conspiracies now, but it's just something to think about.
Yeah, it definitely is something to think about because I don't know. I mean, he might be right, Jonathan Carrington. Harbaugh could be losing the locker room. If we continue to lose in these big games in the playoffs, eventually the finger has to go somewhere. And we know where it's not going to go. It's not going to go to, at least within the organization, it's not going to go to Lamar Jackson before it goes to John Harbaugh. I think it'll go to Harbaugh before it goes to Lamar. As long as Lamar continues to single-handedly win us football games, which he has done multiple times, and of course I don't mean single-handedly, but he was the reason we won. Mainly, but as long as he continues to do that, I feel like the finger will primarily be pointed at John Harbaugh before it is pointed at Lamar. So this conspiracy theory is not so far-fetched, at least not in my eyes or thoughts. But yeah.
So I see the Rain Gang popping off in the chat right now about the video Deshaun Elliott retweeted, and it was the video of James Proche I was talking about. The tweet goes, "There's no reason for James Proche only having one catch this season for the Baltimore Ravens. The guy is a playmaker and deserves more of a role this season. If I see this, can you pull the video and everybody can see what I'm talking about?" That's cool.
Yeah.
Perfect. So Deshaun Elliott retweeted this. Our safety retweeted this. So now we can add him to the list of people kind of on that offense.
All right, let me pull this up here for you guys. See our guy. Okay.
Got it?
Yep.
Perfect. And we also have 60 people watching, so thank you to everybody watching right now. If you're new here, subscribe, let us know you're here. Drop a hi, drop a hey, drop a hello.
Absolutely. So, this is the tweet here. This is the video. I believe it said, "There's no reason for James Proche only having one catch this season for the Baltimore Ravens. The guy's a playmaker and deserves more of a role next season," like you said. So we'll see just a little highlight tape that they have put together for Proche. Ooh, that's an insane one-handed catch.
It was lagging a bit. Can you just restart it real quick?
Got it.
Perfect. Cool. Yeah, there we go. Yes, like this is what we're talking about. If he can make these plays with one hand,
yeah,
like guys in front of him, like
because what this is showing me, contested catches, and he has a big catch radius. You know, like he's not like the biggest guy, but like you see him going up to go get those passes.
Yep.
So, or reaching out. So it's like I feel like if we give a guy like that more opportunities, then shoot, we may be working with something. No, this would not have been a catch in the NFL. That one.
But yeah. the 1 foot down in college, we get it.
Yeah.
See, that was the one that's the first clip started like the one-handed with the guy over him falling back, holding onto it, and still getting both feet in bounds, which would count in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to say anymore. So we can add Deshaun to the list. We have Dez, Marquise Brown, and now Deshaun Elliott calling out the Ravens offensive coordinator. It'll be our list on the program podcast. That's the new. There's no more Marquise versus Hollywood. It's now who's the next player to call out the offensive coordinator.
Oh man, and it's just I don't know. There's no heat, there's no pressure at all, like on Greg Roman. At least not that we can see from the Ravens organization. There hasn't been any sort of speculation, and that's why like I was very interested to see what Eric DeCosta was going to say today. I was expecting him to be to say something along the lines of we're going to have talks with Roman, Harbaugh, see how we can change this offense, adapt it for the better, that sort of thing. Those sort of words would have been more encouraging to me instead of just saying like, oh, I'm just going to let them kind of keep doing what they do. I'm just going to get the players, whatever. I would like to know what the owner thinks about the current state of the Baltimore Ravens, Steve Bisciotti. I want to know what he's thinking about right now. Let's have a press conference with him, right?
I would love to because he is a winner. He wants to win. I think he's the one who puts the pressure on the guys in the front office like, we need to be a Super Bowl contender every year because you saw what it meant when we won the 2012s. I mean, he was all with the guys, and he definitely is one of the few owners that I'm happy that they don't show him at the Ravens games, that they show the Jerry Jones. He's a great owner. He does what he has to do, and I feel like behind the scenes, he's kind of like hopefully pushing these guys. Like we have an MVP quarterback. Can we build around him, please?
Right. And we need to build around him fast because we have a window, right? We have a window that we need to win the championship in because we're not going to be able to have Lamar Jackson, playing at his same level right now for the next 10 years. It's just not going to happen, So we have a window that we have in order to win a championship. Now, exactly how long that window is, I'm not sure, or how open it is, but we have to do something, and we have to do something fast. So I would love to see, the proper adjustments in this offseason. For the hell of it, let's get a number one wide receiver. Let's draft an O lineman. Let's plug up the deficiencies that we had in the previous season. You saw we did that last year. We lost to the Titans in the playoffs. It's like, what do we need to do? Why did we lose that game? Defensive line, that was a problem. So we beefed that up. We got past that stage this year. And we got to the next stage, and the next stage was like, okay, now we're facing one of those high-powered offenses who's going to throw the ball, 50, 60 times. Can we match that? Can we keep up, And we weren't able to do that. So I think the yeah, what were you about to say?
No, you keep going. I'm gonna add on to what you're saying.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, I think that we just need to continue to build. We need to continue to build like from year to year. It's a little bit more grade, the lines this year as opposed to last year in terms of exactly what we need to get. Because if you look at like why our season ended both of these past 2 years, like I said, against the Titans, it was our defensive line, so we beefed that up. Against the Bills this year, there were a lot of different reasons why we kind of lost that game. One being interior O-line. Most of our O-line play was just terrible. And then also another thing as well, just the offensive coordination and the discipline on offense. The type of offense we run, discipline and execution needs to be on the number one utmost priority. You know, so the pre-snap penalties and the unforced errors
Every game.
is just something.
Every
Game. That's something that killed us. That was one of our downfalls this season. So if we're gonna get better, those are the things that need to change. But what were you about to say though?
So that's why I'm against signing a number one receiver and splashing that cash, because I just looked it up. Tyreek Hill was drafted in the 5th round, 165th overall. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 165th overall. James Proche got him at number 201. All right, we traded up to get him. I can confirm that. James Proche was the most targeted wide receiver in college football. So he had 1,100 yards receiving too. One catch is all he had. Just want to leave it at that.
Yeah, and it's just crazy to think about, like, the potential that these guys have, that a lot of these guys have on our roster, but we never really get to see it, you know? I don't know if Baltimore is just the place where good young receivers go to die or what it is, but it's just, I don't know, man. It's been rough.
Yeah, it definitely has. Yeah, I can give us his full stats from. Okay, in his 4-year college career, 3,949 yards, 39 touchdown passes, and he caught the most passes in college football. So.
Yeah, man. My fault. I was getting a little bit of static in my headphones for a second. Not sure if you could hear that too, but. Let's see. Jay Bird actually says something in here. He says, man, as fans being emotional is one thing, but guys, it's been legit a week and 2 days since the playoff game. We got to relax and let things fall into place. Execution is bigger than game playing. I'm not sure what you're saying there, but let's see. Devon Johnson says, it's amazing we're actually making the playoffs just off of Lamar's athleticism. Imagine if we actually improve. Yeah. Just off that's literally all it is. And that's the crazy thing though, right? We literally win games off of Lamar's athleticism alone. Imagine if we actually utilize other pieces on our offense the way that we could, like we were saying earlier, using the speed on our offense to scheme guys open. Like we have a Miles Boykin who runs a 4.4, who actually took a pretty solid step up in terms of, producing big plays this year. But Miles Boykin, we have Hollywood Brown, who we know is a speedy guy. So I don't see exactly where the disconnect is in terms of what Eric DeCosta thinks is wrong and what John Harbaugh thinks is wrong and Greg Roman. We see it. We all see it. Even as fans, we see it. You know what I mean? And it seems like the answer is obvious, but of course they're the experts, not us. So like our guy Jay Bird said, we just have to let things fall into place and let these guys do their jobs. Hopefully, we can have more competency out of the offense next year, especially in the passing game.
I see this. I have no clue with like the static thing going on right now, but I hear it's going on. Is it me? Is me?
Well, I don't know because like I was hearing it like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah,
now you're hearing.
I was hearing it too. Yeah. Well, I saw in the chat too, so I didn't know like who it was.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what that was all about. But it sounds good right now. Now.
Yeah, same here.
So, but let's see what we've got here. Devon Saunders says, unpopular opinion. Maybe when Ronnie Stanley comes back from injury, he should switch to right tackle, and Orlando Brown should stay at left tackle. Not saying that Ronnie isn't good at left tackle. I don't know about that, man. I think we should switch them back to how they were.
Yeah. I mean, that's what worked so far. So,
yeah.
So you want to talk about what? So I know we had the Ed Reed we want to talk about, but what he said. But we have a few coaching moves. You want to talk about them first?
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about that.
Okay, perfect. So we got a new defensive line coach, a new defensive backs coach, and a new inside linebackers coach. So let me get the names. I know our new defensive line coach is Anthony Weaver, former Ravens player, played from 2002 to 2005. I think he had like 14 and a half sacks while he was here. And he was the former, I think, defensive line coach for Texans too. So that's filled now. Obviously, Rob Ryan is the new inside linebackers coach. And then our new defensive backs coach is Anthony Lynn's son. So hopefully he has better time management, clock management than his father. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But just some stuff going on.
Let's see. That is very, very interesting. And I don't know why. I know who was it, David Culley? He was getting interest from the Texans, right?
He got a second interview. Texans, the most functional team in the league.
I don't understand it, bro. It's just like, if you're the Texans, it's like, are you purposely trying to sabotage like your organization? And you know, it's funny that news came out the other day saying that basically, like, no matter what happens at head coach, Deshaun Watson still wants out. That should tell you something. Like, nobody, it's not a good organization right now.
And the fact he would want to go to a team like the Jets, who were a dumpster fire this past year just because of their head coach there, because they have some picks, they have a little bit of a future, says a lot. So, Texans right now, by far the worst franchise in the NFL.
Oh yeah.
Then it's the Lions. Then you got the Lions at 31. But
the Lions, they parted ways with Matthew Stafford. So I guess
I mean, I saw like it's about 18 different starting quarterbacks. Different teams might have a quarterback controversy coming up because you don't know what's going to be going on with these guys. You can have the Rams that apparently Jared Goff and Sean McVay, a little bit of disconnect going on there. The Niners, you don't know if with Jimmy G. It's the Steelers with Ben, the Eagles, the Colts, the Patriots. We can go through other teams. It would be here for just the quarters.
Yeah, honestly, man. But just, you know, coaching changes, like I think you said it probably about 20 minutes ago. Coaching changes, we're probably going to see some more of those before next season. You think?
Yeah, 100%.
So, and then Roman, I don't know. Living Legend says fans were calling for Cam Cameron's job, and we didn't know what we were talking about. Then he was fired, and we won the Super Bowl. We'll be right about Greg Norman. We know.
Yeah.
Man, I hope so, man. I hope so. But I don't know. I just feel like the Ravens right now, I feel like they really are loyal to their guys. They're really loyal to John Harbaugh. It's kind of unhealthy, isn't it? They're very loyal to John Harbaugh, Greg Roman, and Wink Martindale, and it just doesn't seem like, it seems like they can do no wrong. It's like, oh, we lost in the playoffs for the third year in a row. It's cool. We'll just pack it up.
It's cool.
Try it again with the same offense next year. You know, give it another shot.
See, the difference from 08 to 12 when it was Flacco, we were getting the championship game. You know, we lost this in the championship game. We lost against the Patriots in the championship game. We don't see that progression.
Yeah.
We haven't been that one game away from the Super Bowl. We haven't been that one play. We were a kick away from taking it to overtime with the Patriots. A catch away from going to the Super Bowl.
Right.
We're games away from making it there.
Yeah.
And that's the difference.
Like we're not serious yet. Like watching, I'm sure everybody watched the conference championship games yesterday. Like those games felt serious. Those games felt like, okay, these teams are in it. These are the best four teams in football, just period, you know? And we're still not at that level. And as much as we would like to think that we are or want to be, we're just not right now, you know, because we have not been able to take that jump from the divisional round. It seems we can't get over that divisional round hump right now. That's where we're at. So
it's no playoff win hunt. It's the divisional game hunt.
Yeah.
Like it or it's whatever.
Exactly. So, yeah. Living Legend says, I call them Greg Norman and John Harnaugh. Okay.
I'm up to adapt that if this keeps on going on.
Oh man. Let's see. Okay, so you guys are full. You guys are all in the chat room having big conversation. I'm loving it. Shout out
Yeah,
to the
love
whole
to see
Rain
it.
Gang, man. Shout out to the Rain Gang. You guys are great
Yes.
down there, just supporting, having good conversation. We love all you guys. Make sure you like the video if you haven't already. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you're enjoying the content. We love having you guys through, having conversation with you guys as well. Um, yeah, but like I said, man, just like I said, those conference championship games, they felt very, very serious. And I feel like we're just not on that level. I was watching those teams play like, yeah, like I said, these are the best teams in football, and the Ravens just aren't there. But
The Rain Gang has the jokes out, right? They have the jokes out. John Hell no.
I oh, man,
Oh, that's.
you guys are hilarious.
I'm gonna have to start using that because that's how I feel.
Yeah. P Brownie, he says exactly the same thing we're saying. He says if Eric DeCosta, John Harbaugh, and Greg Roman, they don't see a problem with the offensive coaching, we're gonna end up in the same position as the last 2 years. Great regular season record, but 1 and done, 2 and done, or even 3 and done. You know, I mean, shit, at this point, I would have at least taken 3 or done. You know what I mean? At least make
Give me some more hope.
some progress over what we did last year. I mean, I get we won a playoff game. It's just like, come on, guys. Like we should be able to beat the Bills. We should be able to beat the Bills, man.
Yeah.
Our defense held them to 10-point scoring offensively. So, and we just weren't able to put up any points. And the Bills defense isn't even that good. So
It's not. And I think I might get a little bit of slack for this, but I feel like the past 3 years we've made to the playoffs, I had the most faith Lamar's rookie year for some reason. I don't know why. I thought we were a Super Bowl caliber team because our defense was so good. We were complete on that defense. And these past 2 years, it's like, yeah, the offense, but it's like they let us down. So that rookie year, like we were just firing on all cylinders. We went to Arrowhead and we literally should have won that game, but Mahomes makes this sidearm no look pass and throws it up because we had C.J. Mosley and Eric Weddle's old self on Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
But I need to get that type of confidence again.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple things in the chat here before we move on. Robbie Reddifer, he says, did you hear that Jordan Palmer is trying to work with Lamar Jackson this offseason? He has helped Mahomes, Allen, and Joe Burrow and others. He's a mechanics guru, quote unquote.
Yes, I saw that. I hope it happens, please.
Yeah, I mean, I would absolutely love that because if there's anything that's going to make Lamar Jackson even more dangerous than Lamar Jackson already is, then yes, please inject that into my veins and his. So let's see what else we have here. Adit Mahmood, what's up, Adit? He says Ravens have become more analytical in all facets of the game in the last couple of years. Since people prefer traditional and basic stats, fans need to adjust to the metrics that the front office uses.
We haven't got past the divisional round. All I'm gonna say, how good are those analytics working?
Yeah,
we can get the fourth.
It's just percentages. Analytics is just percentages. Like how much is, what are the odds that this happens? That's all it is really, and you can go wrong with that.
I'm all for going whatever the hell makes us win a damn game. I don't care what it is.
Yeah. And you can see it even in the playoffs. It's more highlighted than like any other time because you can see like in every big playoff game, it always comes down to maybe one or two big coaching decisions, that kind of swings the game one way or the other. So, we just have to really be on point and realize that like every game could be our last,
Mm-hmm.
So if there's any play that we need to bring out of the trick bag or anything like that, if we're losing and our season is on the line, like the analytics should go out the window. I'm sorry. And we just need to focus on winning a football game. So yeah. But yeah, so we are going to move on. We have one more question here. Question here from our guy Jay Bird. He says, honest question, bias aside, do we really think coaching was why we lost to the Bills? I legit watched the game and it really seemed 90% on execution compared to game calling. What do you think about that, Alex?
I'm not going full coaching. I'm going the line. Not even. It was more of the passing, the pass line.
Mm-hmm.
When we pass the ball the line, I need the right term for that. I'm gonna go with that. I mean, defense played a hell of a game. Gave up 10 points. I'm not putting anything. The only issue with the defense was the trips to I think it was the left, and we only had 2 corners over there. That was the only touchdown of the game. Even if they don't score that, we're still losing 10-3. Never, I mean, the whole pick six, you never know, but just speaking. And if we're going to put it on coaching, just Roman maybe, but Lamar, he looked like he had the jitters. He didn't look like himself, and just certain throws, and he gets hurt. And Huntley comes in. Huntley couldn't throw a bullet spiral for his life. He was just throwing like touch passes. I mean, it was just the whole team. It was the whole team. So I'm gonna go 70% execution, 30% coaching. That's on the offense on Roman.
Yeah, man. I don't know if I would go 70% on execution. I think a lot of it is execution, but I would probably go 60-40. I probably go 60-40. Lamar's jitters, it wasn't the best thing to see coming from him, especially when you need your quarterback to be able to drop back, make his 3-step drop, plant his foot in the ground, make those throws, anticipate throws, anticipate receivers getting open, and that's just not something that Lamar does really well right now, and it doesn't seem like it's something that we really focus on. We really focus on a lot in our preparation. It just doesn't, because I feel like if we did, our execution would be a lot better. Good execution comes from great preparation. You know what I mean? So, and it just seems like we execute a lot of our running plays really well. And I know a lot of that has to do with, Greg Roman. He's a very good run
blocking,
and run blocking as well. So, but then just passing, we look like a totally different offense. And, that shouldn't
we look
be.
like Pee-wee team.
Exactly. And I don't think that it's all on Lamar Jackson. Of course, he could be better. But I feel like we also at the same time could be putting him in a lot better situation to succeed. And that, of course, it starts with the O-line. He can't do anything if he has D linemen in his lap after half a second of, of him snapping the ball. So it comes down to that, and also comes down, and then, that falls under execution, but it also comes down to coaching as well, because a lot of the times we see, our guys aren't getting open, and it's, we're running like some of the same plays. Like, we were doing that screen play to Hollywood a lot.
Yeah, we can run the back.
Yeah.
And they ran
it. Just came, it came very predictable. So I would say 60-40 all in all. But yeah, it's a good point, Jay Bird.
Now, I see Living Legend brought up probably the best point so far. The execution was crucial, especially when Dobbins missed that block. When Hollywood, it was one safety, and we had 2 receivers running. And I think it was a lineman. I don't know what lineman it was. If somebody knows, please tell me, because I know who I think it was. And I know I have kind of an agenda against them. But I definitely know Dobbins missed a block. So
wasn't it Fluker?
It was either Fluker or Phillips. It's whoever was in that drive.
Oh, wait. I think it was Phillips. Yeah.
Yeah. So that right there, like that was 7, and then of course, what happens the next play? Pick 6, and that's basically when the game ended from that point.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Dobbins did miss that block, but I don't think that block was necessarily his first assignment. So to say.
That's what. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't.
He really just he would have got over there in time if Tyree Phillips didn't get beat so badly.
Surprise.
Yeah. So, yeah, that is a good point though by our guy, Living Legend. Phineas Humphrey, what's up, Phineas? He says Bucks or Chiefs. That is the Super Bowl matchup, isn't it?
Oh, it feels like it was a script written by the WWE. It feels like
it does. I hate it.
I hate sounding like that, but it just feels like you got the old versus the new. You got the one who's won 6 rings and the reigning champion. It's like,
isn't it just so perfect?
Right. It just how.
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's perfect. A little bit too perfect.
And on the NFC, Rodgers, Brady. On the AFC, the young guns, Allen, Mahomes. It's just And even if, let's say, the Browns were to win, you got Mayfield, Allen, or if the Ravens were to win, Lamar Allen or Lamar Mayfield or Lamar
Right.
Mahomes. It was set up perfectly. So bravo
Yeah.
to you, Roger Goodell. Bravo.
Hey, what did you think about? We're gonna move on, guys. We're gonna talk about kind of the
We
rest
have
of the league.
we'll have a Super Bowl preview. Don't worry,
Yeah,
we'll have
yeah.
that next
We'll,
Thursday.
we'll definitely have that. But shout out to you, Phineas. You're always in here, always participating in the chat and everything like that. So we appreciate you for coming through tonight.
Thank you.
Let's see. So, just going on, I wanted to ask you about that because it is a little bit too perfect. It seems like sometimes with this whole NFL, and the Super Bowl stuff, and like you said, it's perfect this year. You've got the old legend versus the young phenom, and that's just what everybody wants to see. It's gonna sell the most. Well, of course, not the most tickets because they're not gonna be able to sell out, Raymond James Stadium. But at the same time, it is going to make a lot of money. And in a year where you cannot make money off of the live gate at the Super Bowl itself, you got to maximize profits elsewhere. And what better way to do that
Media,
than,
merch.
media hype? And you cannot hype a game. I don't think there's any other potential matchup for this Super Bowl that could have been bigger than this one. A bigger storyline, going into the playoffs when it started. Who did we say had the best storyline coming into the playoffs? The Bucks, Tom Brady. And now look, they're in the Super Bowl. So it seems a little bit too.
To them. All credit to them.
Oh, absolutely. All credit to them. They're a great team, but it just seems so perfect. It just seems like a Disney fairy tale almost, how it all comes to a head like this. That's neither here nor there. I'm just messing with you guys.
It's like it's the WrestleMania. It's the main event. I mean, it feels like I'm watching that all over again. It's like
I know
it's weird, and I think of last year. You had Reed versus the young and a coach.
Yeah.
The one who's been there before and never won it. The year before that, Belichick, McVay. McVay took over the league. Belichick and Brady have done this forever. Golf had a great year that year. It's just something.
Something every year, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And NFL Productions, you're right. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they will be playing at home. They will be the first team to play the Super Bowl at home, which
well deserved. That's cool. Well deserved.
That's crazy.
Better win it. Better win it. You're home. You got to win that.
It just baffles me how, like, in a sport, in such a huge team reliant sport, that that has so many different variables in it, that a team that just got Tom Brady, this team was in basically poverty last season. They get Tom Brady, exactly. They get Tom Brady now, right? And now they're in the Super Bowl all of a sudden. It's just like, is Tom Brady that great? Because if he is, somebody let me know, because he just. I don't know how it's done. I just don't. Alex, I'm at a loss for word here. Just help me. I don't know. Is Tom Brady that good to where he can just go anywhere? Give him a Gronk, give him a Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, maybe an AB here and there, and then boom, Super Bowl.
I hate to say it. He's the GOAT. I hate to say it. I think it's a mixture of him being with a coach that lets him call an offense, him being with the offensive coordinator with a Leftwich who kind of lets Brady, do what he wants to do. Because Brady, something in New England just didn't feel right. And those final years, even after they won the Super Bowl last year, didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And now this year they did their thing. I mean, look at him. Arians lets him do what he wants to do, and a lot of their young guys stepped up, especially on that defense. Devin White, Sean Murphy-Bunting, Carlton Davis. And they were without Antonio Brown and Antoine Winfield Jr. Yesterday, and they still found a way to win. Yeah. So more credit to them. And it's Brady gives you – it's like that boost you have in those video games you give to everybody else. That's what Brady does to you. He just boosts everybody up.
Yeah. Now, how did you feel about the officiating in that NFC Championship game? Because
100%. That was a penalty, 100%.
That last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I agree. But what about that first interception that Aaron Rodgers threw? Was that not holding?
It was a holding. Yes.
Yeah.
It was a holding.
Call that. The refs were literally swallowing their whistle the entire game. But when it really came down to it and the Packers needed that one stop to get the ball back and, maybe go down and score and tie it up, They didn't give it to him. They threw that flag. So it's just like, I don't know. I hate the inconsistency of the refereeing. And guys, look, I understand. I know Brady threw 3 picks and the Aaron Rodgers offense, they didn't get anything out of that. But at the same time, it's just like the inconsistency. And like I said, every play is huge in the playoffs. So the inconsistency in the officiating, that really, really bothers me. It really does. Because if that's my team, I'm screaming at the television.
They missed, and before that interception that was a hold was on, they missed a false start before that. So
Yeah.
it was both ways, and it kind of hurts me because that officiating crew I like a lot, the Cleve Blakeman and his crew. So that kind of hurt because I mean I thought they did pretty good, but you're right, they did swallow their whistle until when it mattered. But I feel Kevin King, I got a toaster in there. I'm going to get a piece of bread and put it in 3 times, and that's how burnt Kevin King was yesterday. It was terrible.
Yeah.
He picked the worst game to just absolutely just stink.
He was getting embarrassed. Also, how did you feel about the 4th down call where they decided to kick the field goal instead of going for it?
Matt LaFleur. I mean, my thing with Roger, he could have ran it.
He could have ran it twice.
I get your old. Put your damn body on the line. I'm sorry.
Or at least like if you're gonna like you can run it.
Get some yards.
Maybe get some yards. You even I don't know, bro. Just
even a
do
no
something,
huddle,
bro.
You run it no huddle with Devontae Adams. Well,
something.
They hit him earlier on a slant. I mean,
it's just like, bro, you don't like. He was forcing it right there. He did not take what the defense was giving him because the defense was. He would have made it. Okay, he would have made it if he would have took off. He already had a running start. What did he have? Like what? Maybe 6-7 yards to gain, or so. I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to go back and look at the play.
And he can't get hit because that's a first down. That's going to be a 15-yard penalty. First and goal at the 1 yard line.
Exactly.
What's the worst that happens?
It's just go ahead and just score that. Like, just get in the end zone, you know? But like Living Legend said, he agrees with you. He says, it's do or die for your season. There is no tomorrow. But if you win this game, you're in the Super Bowl.
It's not the first game of the year. It's not preseason. It's not week 8, week 9. Right. NFC Championship. There's a reason why they've lost the NFC Championship the past 2 years. Stuff like that.
Because I guarantee you, if that's Mahomes, he's running it in.
He did it against the Titans last year.
Yeah.
He took like 2 or 3 hits and scored it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's going to get into that end zone. So another thing is, here's a question that I have for you. Here's a question that I have for the Rain Gang as well.
Okay.
Does yesterday's loss, does that negatively impact Aaron Rodgers' like legacy? Because it felt like he should have won that game for the Packers. He should have took it into his own hands and won that game. And I know his reasoning. He said that his reasoning for not running the ball on that 3rd down is because he thought that he was going to get an opportunity on 4th down instead of LaFleur actually deciding to kick the field goal. But it's like you can't think that way, right? Am I right?
That's a whole lot of bullshit. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So you're saying you'd rather throw incompletion and have a longer 4th down than run it and have a shorter 4th and goal? Like, please tell me the reasoning behind that. Like what?
Right, exactly.
It's one thing if you run it and there's no time left. There was time left for them to call the play. I come on, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Tyler Sugar, he says it too. He says all I'm hearing is excuses on Rodgers' part. Yeah, honestly, I can sit up here all day and say how the refs weren't consistent with the play calling and all this and that, but at the end of the day, he did have an opportunity to win that game for his team, and he just didn't do it. So that's why I was asking you the question, like, do you think that game, like, negatively impacts his legacy, like, significantly?
I think against Brady, yeah. He's never going to be above Brady now. It's not happening. No. I feel bad for him because he had Mike McCarthy as coach for a few years, and he wasn't the best coach, but I think there's going to be pointing fingers at LaFleur now. And I think LaFleur might be on the hot seat this upcoming year, depending what happens.
LaFleur, I don't know about the hot seat.
Because with Rodgers, what he said that was all coaching. And you know how it is when the quarterback throws it at there's that something, that awkward tension.
But they've been good. They've been a good football team. They were arguably the best team in football down the stretch. So
Yeah.
it's like I don't see LaFleur being on the hot seat. It was just like one of those. It was a mental lapse, late in the game, and you can't have that. And these are things that Matt LaFleur is still a young guy. He's a very young guy, so he's still getting experience under his belt. LaFleur said it himself. It was a communication issue. He didn't tell Rodgers beforehand that, hey, look, if you don't get this on third down, we're going to kick a field goal on fourth down. They just kind of called the plays and just kind of went about it. And then, when fourth down came up, he pulled Rodgers out the game. They kicked the field goal. So things like that, those are learning situations that I feel like they'll get better from. I think LaFleur is a good coach. I think he is.
He is.
He just needs more time under his belt, really.
I mean, what happens with Jordan Love? Is he the next Josh Rosen?
Yeah.
He might even be worse than Josh Rosen. He might even get any play time with Green Bay. Preseason, maybe.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. I have another question for you, though.
Okay.
This is for the Rain Gang as well. So I saw an interesting take earlier on Twitter that said that Patrick Mahomes has already surpassed Peyton Manning. He's already surpassed Drew Brees. He's already surpassed Aaron Rodgers.
No. Bro, how nice is it to be? You get drafted into a team that has all these offensive weapons, has an offensive guru at head coach, has the best offensive coordinator in the league. I just think it's just...
But at the same time, though, answer this question for me. Is Peyton Manning overall, does he have all the same tools and skills and potential and talent that Patrick Mahomes has?
I say no, and here's why.
No, and it's not even close.
It was a different NFL. The game evolved. That's why
Exactly.
I don't like comparing old
and
and
Mahomes
new.
is better, though. Mahomes is better. He's evolved. And at this stage in his career, Peyton Manning didn't win a playoff game until, 3 or 4 years in his career, or 5 seasons or something like that. So, Mahomes came in, he won a Super Bowl in the second season. Went to the AFC Championship game in his first season starting. So, I don't know. I feel like Patrick Mahomes, you got to give him the nod in a lot of different areas because Aaron Rodgers really hasn't done what Pat Mahomes has done.
You're right.
So, hasn't been to 2 Super Bowls. So, yeah, I don't know, man. When you think about it like that, and he's also very close to surpassing Drew Brees as well. In terms of Super Bowls, what actually really matters, Mahomes is up there.
He is. See, my issue, it's not even football, bro. His wife is so fucking annoying. I'm sorry. He fumbled the bag. I'm probably gonna get canceled. Why would you get that pregnant? You're stuck with her now. I'm sorry.
You saw that screaming video.
Yes, bro, I get that. No, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna leave it at that because you can always upgrade. And Mahomes, you are a $500 million man. Are you gonna be stuck with that annoying ass screaming bitching for the rest of your life? Come on now, you fumbled the bag.
Oh man.
I'm sorry, I had to get it off my chest.
Jackson Mahomes is goated though, his little brother.
No.
He's annoying too.
You haven't seen, bro, on TikTok? He's he'll at the teams that he lost. I'm like, bro, I wouldn't mind seeing you get in the NFL and just get your ass ran over.
Nah, man, but I think that I definitely think that Mahomes, if he wins the Super Bowl this year, and then he goes next year, and even if he just gets to the AFC Championship game, I don't know. He's better than a lot of those guys already. I'm sorry, he just
okay. I'll give you that.
He just is, man. It really all comes down to what have you done in the biggest games on the biggest stage of them all, and he's been to 2 Super Bowls already. He's been to 2 Super Bowls, and he won a Super Bowl in the second season, which a lot of quarterbacks cannot say. So,
okay, I'll give you this.
Man.
I'll give you this.
Yeah.
He is going to face a Tom Brady thing, that he's going to be a system quarterback under Andy Reid. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
The difference is though, I don't think we'll ever see Patrick Mahomes as a system quarterback because of the type of quarterback that he is. He's very dynamic, so he has the legs to run if he needs to. He's a playmaker. He is a playmaker in the sense of the word. He can make those sidearm passes. He can make those ridiculous no look passes that nobody else can do. That doesn't necessarily you don't get that from being a system quarterback. You get that from being supremely talented. Mm-hmm. So, I don't think he'll be a system quarterback. I don't think he'll run into that argument. And
then they're going to say he can't win without Andy Reid. So I feel, that's just how it is. They did it with Brady. They're going to do it with him next. I'm just get ready for it because it's going to happen. So no hate towards him, no hate, but you know how that's how it is as an athlete. There's always going to be someone out there who's going to try to downplay what you've done, and then it's coming.
Yeah, that's facts. There always will be. Now let's see, what else do we have here? Josh Hoffman says poor Lamar Jackson is on Phillip Rivers' trajectory because the Ravens want to downgrade the whole operation.
Yeah.
He's
not
Tragic.
wrong.
Hate to see it. Not wrong at all. I saw our guy God Baby is in the house. What up, God Baby?
Congratulations. Team in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. He says all those miserable times of being a Bucs fan has finally paid off. Know how that feels, bro. Definitely know how that feels. Very good feeling.
Especially for the real fans, It hits a lot more when you're a real fan compared to a bandwagon. Because you've been through the hard times. My man's been through the Jameis Winston, the Mike Glenn, the Josh Freeman days. So Congratulations, bro.
Now, what did you think about our guy Ed Reed? What do you think about Ed Reed basically saying he wanted to be a head coach or at least a defensive coordinator, something like that? You brought this up to me, so I'm going to let you kind of say what you think about it and what he exactly said.
So he said that he wants to be either a head coach or a defensive coordinator in college or in the NFL. So think about it. He's a Hall of Fame safety, Hall of Fame defensive back. But for him to want the head coaching or defensive coordinator position straight in the NFL, I think that's a little bit of wishful thinking. I think you got to start as defensive backs coach, show what you can do, then you can get that promotion. I was just because I would have taken him as defensive backs coach for the Ravens, but defensive coordinator, college, maybe. NFL, no.
I don't know. I feel like he understands the game. I know he understands the game. He was the reason I know that is because he was not always he wasn't a super reliant on his athletic ability, so much as maybe somebody like a Troy Polamalu was, but his instincts and his knowledge and smarts for the game is what really allowed him to be a special player. So I have no doubt that he could be, he could translate that into being a coach. But like you said, I definitely think that you have to get your sea legs under you first. You got to start low and then, kind of work your way up, because being a head coach or a defensive coordinator in the NFL is no joke. And there's a lot of responsibility there that I'm sure, Ed Reed has never really taken on, at least not at the professional level. So I don't know. Man. It's very interesting. I would love to see the Ravens just bring him on just as a DB's coach, like you said, and just kind of maybe work his way up from there, but not immediately come in defensive coordinator, head coach, no prior experience, anything like that. And I see somebody in the chat saying that why not? Because there's other teams in the league who are just hiring just anybody's, but I don't agree with those.
They had that NFL. I agree with maybe NFL offensive coordinators or defensive coordinators. There's some that I kind of question. I do. I'm going to question the Urban Meyer. I'm going to question that. Because I feel if you're the Jaguars, why don't you get an offensive guru who's done it in the NFL recently? Yeah, that's Eric Bieniemy. I'm not the biggest fan of the Urban Meyer signing, to be honest. I'm not. That's just me. I didn't really get it, but maybe they know something that we don't with their pick who they're going to take, because it's not Lawrence is not a guaranteed one anymore, which is weird to say, because they can surprise us. It's Jacksonville.
No, man, I think he's a lock at one for sure.
I would hope he is. I would hope, but they're saying
what else do you do in Jacksonville? There's Gardner Minshew.
They're saying Justin Fields. I mean, it's because of the one game, which I don't get that. I'm like, he had one good game. Lawrence was
Yeah.
doing it for how, like,
Years, yeah. I think they'll definitely get Trevor Lawrence. I think they want a guy like Trevor Lawrence so they can run
you would
like
hope.
that, they can run like that college style offense. I think they trust him already. They've had their eye on him for a while now, and especially after the Jets ended up winning a couple of games, which springboarded the Jaguars into that number 1 pick spot. They've been watching Trevor Lawrence for sure, so I think they'll
They
definitely
beat
scoop
playoff
him
teams,
up.
too. They beat the Rams
Yeah.
and Browns, playoff teams.
Wow,
That's
crazy
the
to think
NFL.
about. That is the NFL for you. So, but yeah. Living Legend says, Ed Reed is so smart. He is a perfect coach, in my opinion, relatable and able to simplify the complex.
I agree. And I see our guy Josh Hoffman said, Reed, another guy we can't have because of Harbaugh's ego. I'll throw another guy on there, too. Steve Smith isn't going to be coming here as a receivers coach either, because when they asked him about what he said about Greg Roman, he's like, I respect Steve, but they don't see what's all. He said something about, like, they don't see what we're doing, him and Kurt Warner. I'm just like, okay, so he won't be a receivers coach here. Cool.
No.
So
it's like, and I don't even want to start. I don't even want to bring that up, bro. It's like,
Yeah.
he doesn't see what we're doing. The whole world sees what you're doing, and it's not working. So that's
Yeah.
why they're asking questions. So, but yeah, so that is that. So Super Bowl 55 is finalized. Chiefs Bucks, like we said, we're going to be doing a prediction video on Thursday. We're actually going to be talking about more Ravens stuff for the most part.
next
Next
Thursday,
Thursday.
yeah.
Next
Next
Thursday
Thursday.
we'll be doing the prediction video for the Super Bowl. This Thursday we talking more Ravens talk. I'm sure there'll be more news that comes out between now and then. We'll also be talking about a couple more things as well. So make sure you come through for that episode. This is episode 20 of the Purple Rain podcast. Thank you guys for coming through. We got about 61 people watching live right now. So shout out to all you guys. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And we appreciate you guys for coming through, like I said. So something else happened over the weekend, Alex.
okay.
It was a big fight. It was a big fight over
There
the
was.
weekend.
There was.
Our guy Conor McGregor, he fought
Ouch.
again.
Pain.
Yeah, he fought Dustin Poirier, lost to Dustin Poirier, got knocked out in the second round, which was just, nobody saw it coming. Everyone thinking, Conor's gonna win, but big shout out to Dustin Poirier though, because he went in there and he did his thing. Did you get to watch the fight,
Connor's
Alex?
I did. I watched it.
Yeah.
Don't tell Dana White. I did stream it illegally. Don't tell him.
Yeah.
Don't shut up my door. But yeah, I watched it. I thought Connor had a good first round. I was like, okay.
He did.
I was like, okay. Because I think it was like 10-9. He won it. I was like, okay. And then the second round, those leg kicks, Poirier was going for it. He was going for it. McGregor was trying to hold it off, but he couldn't hold it off any longer. So
yeah, man, it was really just a perfect game plan put on display by Dustin Poirier. Like you said, he broke Conor's leg, and the reason why he was able to do that is because Conor McGregor, he fights in that stance where he's like kind of wide and his leg is kind of just out there for the taking. So, Dustin Poirier was just chewing up his leg like all fight, since he was having his leg like, real close to him, that was his leg. Chewed up his leg and then eventually got to his chin and just finished the fight.
yeah.
So I'm hearing a little bit of that static again. Yeah. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Quazo says simply, are you premiering now?
I am.
Okay,
I am
all right.
video preparing. It's cool. No, it's cool. It's cool. It's come up in a minute. So it's cool.
We're wrapping up here on episode 20. Just, finish up on the whole Conor thing. I thought it was a great fight. I think that we really got to see that there's levels to this, and when you're not active like Conor was, and Dustin Poirier, I know nobody really knows who he is, but he's one of the best fighters. He's one of the toughest guys in the world. And he put it on display. He's better than Conor McGregor. At this point in his career, he's better than Conor McGregor. So, like I said, big shout out to Dustin Poirier. Where Conor goes next from this, he'll probably end up fighting Nate Diaz for a trilogy fight, just
Really?
to get, Probably, yeah. That's probably
Okay.
the direction they'll go. Because as of right now, it really doesn't make sense for him to fight anybody else because he
Yeah.
lost to, the number one contender, and, everybody else just kind of got done with a fight. So he'll probably fight Nate Diaz because Diaz has been waiting in the wings for him. So, yeah. And, yeah. Sid says Ravens schedule predictions, please. We'll do the schedule predictions not tonight. We'll do those maybe on Thursday, but we wanna plan around those a little bit better
Yeah.
for you
Now,
guys.
draft time's coming up. We'll probably,
Yeah,
I'm not going to say we'll have a mock draft, but we'll have guys we want to keep our eyes on.
right.
Because I've never made a mock draft before, and I'm going to keep it that way because that's way too much.
It is a lot. It definitely is a lot. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap up here. I know Asmodeus, you just got here, but hey, man, rewind the stream. We talked about a lot of good stuff tonight, so make sure you get to
And
check out all the stuff we talked about.
if you want to ask a question, drop a comment afterwards. I'll answer it
Yeah.
in our next stream, which is going to be on Thursday.
Thursday. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All of your questions, like you said, if you have any questions for us, whether it be about football, whether it be about anything, leave it in the actual comment section of this video, the actual comment section. That way we can get to it. We can answer it on Thursday's episode. But yeah, our guy Simply, he's premiering a video. So make sure you guys head over to Simply AS10's YouTube channel. You can also find him on Twitter or Instagram. On Twitter at @AlexSilberman_ and on Instagram at simplyas10.prod. I know what I'm about to do after this stream gets over. I'm going to watch that premiere because I want to see this video. I'm excited for it. Very excited for it. I'm Sutton Def. You can find me on Twitter or Instagram at Sutton Def. Like I said in the beginning of the episode, reach out to me. Reach out to Alex. Talk to either one of us. We love chopping it up with you guys. We love the Rain Gang. We appreciate all of you guys coming on this journey with us as we just reached 600 subscribers. So thank you guys so much for that. That's huge. Exactly. So we're still growing, and we hope that you guys continue to grow with us. But yeah, draft and everything like that, we're going to get into in some of our later episodes, guys. So we're going to catch you guys in the next one. This has been episode 20 of the Purple Rain podcast. Alex, you can go ahead and take us out.
Yes. So, like we said, any questions you have, leave them below. Because we didn't do the question thing this time, but it'll be back on Thursday. You can ask any question you want to. But as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay positive. Test negative.
And that is it from us.